Please start.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Please start your.
Yes. First of all, thank you all for inviting me to this session and to talk about the SIR and its impact over the Indian electoral system. First of all, we need to understand that the process of SIR has been started in India after the long gap of 20 years. The last SIR was conducted in the year 2002 and it continued up to 2004. Now, when the last SIR was conducted that time, there was a BJP-led government in the union. And that time, two things happened in India in respect of the electoral process and also in respect of the constitutional mandates. First is to conduct SIR in India, and then second to revise the provisions of Indian Constitution. Samvidhan Samiksha Bill was passed and was proposed to respect the provisions of Indian Constitution. So it is not the case that the SIR is a thing of today. It was brought as a BJP and RSS agenda since many years. And now when they have found that they do not have a majority in India, they have started this process. As you are all aware that the BJP is equally involved in deleting the voters, creating bogus voters, and winning the elections illegally against the mandate of Constitution. Now let us understand what is SIR is. Now I would like to tell you that the SIR is a special intensive revision of the electoral rolls. Electoral rolls means the voter list. Now, if this voter list is same, now there is a process that if anybody has to enroll his name into the voter list, he has to fill a form with certain particulars and documents. Now this process has been followed for decades. Now there was no such process of SIR in a way it is now being implemented in India. Now let us understand further that let us understand one to one what is SIR. Now, as I have stated that SIR is a special intensive revision of electoral rolls. So what they are going to do? Now, and what they propose to do. Now we'll see that there is a BLO, that is booth level officer for each booth. Now one booth consists of 1,000 voters. And in each and for the verification of electoral roll, that is SIR, the for one booth, one BLO is being appointed. And for each constituency, that is assembly constituency, MLA constituency, one ERO is being appointed. Now, this ERO would take over and would be the superior officer to all the BLOs, that is booth level officers. Now, what is the main function of booth level officer? He just has to collect the forms which are to be called EF, that is unique enumeration forms. Now, this unique enumeration form is to re-verify the particular electoral, that is voters in a electoral roll. Now, these forms are only to be filled in by the BLOs. BLOs are restricted only with these powers. Beyond these powers, they do not have any other power. Then all the powers are being concentrated in the hand of EROs, that is electoral registration officer. Now, what is the function of electoral registration officer? That electoral registration officer has to first verify the electoral roll. Then he has to decide that whether the particular electoral, that is the voter, was the part of the previous SIR, that is the previous electoral roll before 2004. And if he finds that he was not the voter at that period of time, then he have a power to exclude his name from the electoral roll. Now, if you have any objection, if suppose if your vote is being deleted from the voter list or your name is being deleted from the voter list, there are two forums which can be availed by you. The first forum is to file a first appeal before the district magistrate, and the if you are not succeeded in the first appeal, then you have to file the second appeal before the CEO, that is Chief Executive Officer for the state and the Union Territories appointed by the Election Commission of India. Now, if you understand all this process, from the inception itself, this process is not fair because what result have come or what repercussions have appeared after this uh, this special intensive revision is very much surprising. Let me tell you that the SIR is proposed to be held in India in three phases. Now, first phase is already over. First phase was conducted in respect of only one state, that is Bihar. Now, what happened in Bihar? The total number of voters in Bihar were 7.89 crores. And after the SIR, that is Special Intensive Revision, 7.42 crore voters were finalized, and the name of 47 lakh voters were deleted from the electoral roll. Now, let us first understand who are these voters. These voters are mainly from the Bahujan communities, that is SC, ST, OBC, and the minorities. Now, very few voters are found from the Savarna communities in this deleted list. Now, therefore, the intention of the Union government and the election of India is very much clear that they want to delete the voters who have a secular mind, who do not vote on the basis of religion, but on the basis of the constitutional mandate and in a secular way. So, the first adverse effect of the SR is to delete the secular voters from the list. Now, this is not the only case. That after deletion, the journey do not stop here, the effect do not stop here. They go further to verify your citizenship. That is the second very shocking aspect in the entire process of SIR. Now, if we go further, now the first phase is over. We have seen what has happened in the Bihar election. In Bihar election, the BJP has unexpectedly won the elections and got almost majority in the elections, assembly elections. Now, in that elections, there were protests and everything was there. The matter went up to the Supreme Court. Now, however, nothing has happened in the Supreme Court because even the Supreme Court did not have explanation to legitimize the SIR process in Bihar. However, they did not go through the record and everything, and they just simply ignored the question. Now, what have happened thereafter? After the Bihar's election were upheld and were not interfered by the Supreme Court, now they went ahead. Now we are into the second phase of SIR, Special Intensive Revision. Now in second phase of FIR, there is SIR in total 9 states and 3 union territories. Now the major states among these are the Uttar Pradesh, and second is Bihar, the West Bengal. I would say the West Bengal. Now, what has happened in UP? Let us understand the UP. What has happened in UP? In UP, the deletion of 10.2% uh, of total voters have been made by the Election Commission of India. Now, in UP, there are in UP, if you would say the 2.4 crore voters have been deleted from the list. Now, again, these same phenomena, the same kind of strategies here. the voters who are from scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, other backward classes, and minorities. Those voters have been deducted from the list, deleted from the list. Now, as I have stated earlier, that there is a forum for appeal. But what happens in appeal also, the judge is so prejudiced that nothing happens. And it is not expected from the system they have created in form of appeal that in every appeal there would be an early decision. Because if you lose the right of vote as mandated by the constitution, then what is the use of the appeal ultimately if you lose that right? And even if you get the right to vote after appeal, and that is after substantive period of time, what is the use of it? So these questions are still unanswered. Now, going to the Bengal's election, you know what happened in Bengal. Now, in Bengal, if you see that 83.86 lakhs voters have been deleted from the list. Now, I don't understand one thing in what in states wherein the SIR had taken place before the elections, why only it is benefited only to the particular party and not to the other party? Because the beneficiary of this SIR is the BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party, and no other party, or Bharatiya Janata Party's alliance. Now, we have been raising voice for years together against the electronic voting machines in India. We have organized many debates, protests, and also the conferences. The first national conference were held in Nagpur, wherein more than 1 lakh people participated. We organized that conference. That time, this question was not there. Now, what had happened after 2024, the Modi government has learned that they do not have a majority because in 2024 also they were not supposed to get the 224 seats. They were very less of 224 seats. They were supposed to get only 100 to 120 seats, but they managed the entire election process and they could get the 224 seats. Now the 324 seats. Now the question remains that why the entire benefit of any process of electoral reform goes in favor of the BJP. So that is a very crucial question to be answered. And therefore, the case was filed before the Supreme Court challenging the process of SIR. Now, however, what has happened that Supreme Court, even after observing in some of its observation that the process of SIR is not fair, transparent, and fulfills the mandate of Constitution and the provisions of Representation of People Act 1951, which is the basic law for conduct of election of assembly and the MPs in India and Parliament in India. Now, even after observing this, the Supreme Court three judges bench headed by CJI Surya Khan has held the validity of the SIR by its judgment. Now the SIR has become legal and valid even from the point of view of judgment of Supreme Court. Now question remains that what we are going to do in order to stake, because now the entire process of the SIR is being legitimized. Now only remedy which is left with the citizen is to ensure that his name gets enrolled in the electoral roll. Now, for that purpose, what he is supposed to do, the first foremost thing which he is supposed to do is to fill EF, that is unique enumeration form, in which you have to mention your name, your previous voter ID number, your Aadhaar card number, and the Aadhaar card numbers and the details of your family members. Now that is the simple format of the unique enumeration form which is to be filled in. Now I have personally filled in the unique enumeration form and handed over to the BLO. Now even for the BLO, there is a provision of put provision for the political parties. They can appoint their BLO agent, that is the booth level agents to the for assisting the BLOs. However, what is being observed by me as far as the state of Maharashtra is concerned, because in state of Maharashtra also now SR process is going on. Now, what is happening that these booth level agents, many parties have not appointed their booth level agents. So the parties which are secular in nature, they are lagging behind to get their voters involved in the voter list. Now there are three stages of voter list. First, draft voter list is to be prepared. Then the deleted voters are to be given notice and they are to be heard on inclusion of their name into the voter list, and thereafter final voter list electoral roll is to be prepared. Now in this situation, it is imperative on the part of every secular voter that he would go and he would enroll his name in the voter list. Now, I know that some unfairness would always be there because they do not want the voters of secular identity would get placed in the SIR. But the only lawful remedy which is now available is to file a first appeal before the district magistrate. Now, under these circumstances, as far as the maintenance of the democracy in India is concerned, that is under the grave threat. Secondly, as the entire SIR process is being designed to legitimize the illegitimate government into the power, and therefore the voters who are not the voters of the illegitimate government, those voters are now being deleted from the list because Muslims are not going to vote uh, in majority to the extremist parties. The scheduled caste, scheduled tribe OBCs are not also going to be vote. Uh, at least scheduled caste and scheduled tribe would not vote in majority to the extremist parties. So they know that they do not have a ratio which is required to win elections. Therefore, they have bent upon to deleting the crores of voters from the voter list in India. And they are successful in this process because of three things. First, no concrete opposition by the opponents, that is uh, the party who are not into. Second aspect, if you see that the voters are themselves are not interested to get their vote enrolled. Those who are not so concerned with the democratic setup of the country, they are not that interested, and therefore, though they are a secular voter, their votes are getting deleted from the list. And third and foremost, that there is a lack of social and political unity and integrity to to answer this very difficult situation of SI. Because the political parties are also not responsive to the citizen at large who want to get their vote enrolled in the voter list. Now, what would be the ultimate effect of it? Now, the Supreme Court has recently clarified that the exclusion from the voter list or the exclusion or inclusion in the voter list of a voter is not the certification of his citizenship. But fact remains that after the government was formed in Bihar and Bengal, the chief minister of those states have made clear that the persons who are deleted from the voter list, their citizenship would be also verified and they would be denied all sort of government benefits which are available to the citizens of India. So there is now the exclusion of citizenship also added with the SIR. So now our responsibility is to see that what is happening next. What we are doing at local level, let me tell you, We are ensuring that everybody, every voter, every secular voter gets enrolled in the SIR and he gets his right to vote intact. Secondly, we are preparing for the appeals for those whose names are getting excluded. Thirdly, what we are doing, we are spreading awareness everywhere in the state of Maharashtra to the best of our capacity to aware people about the right of vote and to get their name verified and enrolled in the uh, upcoming electoral roll, that is the uh, voter list. This is what we are possibly doing. But at the last, I would like to tell you that the democracy in India is in grave danger, and it is in grave danger since the BJP came in power in 2014. The SR is nothing but the attempt to just impose them or to just put them or continue them, keep them continue in the power. And for this purpose only the SR is being conducted. The SIR's intention in India is not to have fair verification of voter list or electoral roll, but to to be in power at every cost by eliminating all sort of hurdles which the BJP have in their way. Thank you, Jai Hind. Hello.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I request a member to ask questions. Please raise your hand or type your questions in the chat box. Any questions?
Yeah, while others are thinking about it, let me just go ahead and ask a question. Jai Bhim, Akash ji, it was really enlightening to hear you and your
Yes.
analysis. And thank you for sharing with us. My question is like, this affects all the Indian citizens, but at the same time, it is a very important responsibility from all the opposition parties as well. Are they doing anything? That is one question, because if they don't do anything right now, they will be wiped out. And then it will also affect the citizens. So, what can citizens do collectively? And how can Anna help you uh, take this forward so that we can create more awareness among the citizens?
Actually, the opposition parties, as you said, they are not that active, which they ought to be in this present scenario. It is very unfortunate that even the representative or Congress are not. They are conducting the camps, they are conducting the awareness, but their awareness is very much formal. What I have seen, they are not committed to get the secular voters involved in the voter list. This is first thing. Therefore, it is our collective responsibility to push all the secular parties that they should be very much active in enrolling the name of all the voters in the electoral rolls, and they should see to it that no secular voter is being excluded from the list. Because we have experience in past what has happened in BR and West Bengal, and also in Uttar Pradesh is very unfortunate. As I have stated already, that the lakhs of voters have been deleted from the list of Bihar, West Bengal, and Uttar Pradesh. Now, this is the second phase. In phase, Maharashtra is also included out of the nine states. Now, we have been persuading the states representative of Congress and other secular parties. See, except Congress, the other parties, other regional parties are absolutely silent on this process. That is another surprising part. They are not even participating into this process. They are not even conducting the SR camps in their respective constituencies. Now, what ANA and what we can possibly do is to conduct, at least in a scheduled caste and scheduled tribe areas, the extensive awareness campaign regarding SIR. What I have stated you, we have prepared the brochure also. So we can hand over that brochure, we can conduct a camp area wise, and we can make the citizens aware of the entire process, and we can guide them to get their vote validly enrolled in the voter list. That can be the first thing to be done as far as the inclusion of voters in electoral roll is concerned. Secondly, what can we possibly do? The political parties who are already working in this direction in SR, we can extend on our help to them also, because what has happened except BJP, now even the Congress is lacking on many fronts as far as the funds are concerned. So we can also help them out to conduct SR in an extensive and in an effective way by contributing to to our capacities to their campaign. So this can be done. Let me tell you, let us not think of going to the Supreme Court challenging this process, because from the side of Supreme Court, the matter is already over, and now the decision has already been delivered in the month of May 2026. Now that decision can be revised only by the uh, s- special constitution bench of 5 or 7 judges if it is constituted, and this would not be done unless the government is changed in India.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any other questions? Please ask.
Professor JV, please go ahead and unmute yourself if you can.
Thank you very much, Advocate Akash Moon sir. Very well interpreted. I have one input for what should be done. I will take you to one small episode which happened in the last election. See, people, I don't want to mention about the party, they go to a village and tell that, please vote us. The villagers say, no, we already decided whom to vote. Then this person says, no, it's okay. If you have agreed to decided to vote to somebody, look at our option. Option says, if we come after the voting time and find no mark, indelible mark on your finger, we'll pay you 10,000 rupees per head. That means the voters are not allowed to vote because of these practices. You have vote, but you are not allowed to vote. It's like this Anna, I had seen this clip. A lady is voting, somebody from the behind is voting, not her. I'm rising to this other issue of you may have the voting right, but you're not allowed to vote. This is one situation. The second and the most important is you must revoke. Anna can do one very good thing. See, this happened in the Africa also. When the apartheid was practiced, even the movement of the blacks were not allowed. You see, in the African country context, in the apartheid time, they were not even allowed to go out. They were on the voting line. So what I suggest is the United Nations agency for refugees should be made to act now, because I have gone to Greece and many places I have seen. See, most of the places it's the refugees which are being accommodated in different countries because of various war or natural calamities. The migration, whether it is America or Africa or Europe, is already on, especially in Europe. Because of the demographic problem, more and more people are welcomed because there's no productive force. But in India, there's some serious problem going on because the right party wants to keep in power. But the people are very sensitive. They will not allow that to happen. What is required is in Indian context, you must have more and more of street level place. You see, going to the communities, going to those vulnerable people who are a part of the productive force, but they are denied the vote. They must be sensitized. I think that's one thing that should happen. You rightly mentioned about it. That see, the opposition party is doing its best. I don't want to say that they are not doing anything, but the intellectuals, the educated, are not waking up. This is the one serious problem I'm worried about. Thank you very much. It was a very good presentation. Thank you.
Right. So what as you have rightly stated about the filing of appeal or the filing of grievance before the United Nations, that can also be done. But this should be done on an extensive level, and if it is done by the political, that is the opposition party, then this would be more effective. We can also file number of applications there in the United Nations, but I am doubtful whether those applications really mm, uh, would really make any difference. But let us also explore that opportunity if it is as it is available. Any other questions, sir?
Yeah, I can ask one question. Akash Jai Bhim and Namo Buddhaya.
Yes, sir.
This is Vivek. Yeah, I think I know, and most of us would know about the this SIR, and it has been becoming a very intensive practice by the ruling party right now, and it has affected many of these outcomes in the elections. And as you stated, the Supreme Court also has given their final judgment. Nothing can be done. Okay, the opposition party is also kind of pretty, in the basket. They are not doing anything right now. Uh, what is the way out? And how this awareness campaign can, like be generated. It is a big task. If the opposition is not taking the leadership role, those who are in the leadership role, who are running the major national parties, and they're still kind of, seems like maybe hand in gloves, they are like, maybe they're agreeing what BJP is the ruling party is doing it right now, right? If they are not pushing in the parliament or any other on the floor, upper or lower, in the parliament. So what is the way out? What can the citizens do, when the major
No, we can
political
simply,
parties, yeah.
yes, we can simply make a representation to the political parties that that the opposition parties are not that serious to take up this issue of SIR, and they should think of this issue seriously. They should employ their representatives at booth level, that is booth level agent, right? The place of booth level agent is very much important. That after every BLO, that is the booth level officer, you can employ each party can employ their agents, and they can supervise the inclusion of the or the finalization of the voter list. But what I have explained earlier that they are not that interested because except Congress, I am not seeing anybody's representative in the at the booth level, because the primary stage is to appoint agent at the booth level. Thereafter, the other subsequent thing would follow. But that is not being done or being functionalized as of now. So that is the first part. Second part, as I have stated, that people must raise voice at the extensive level. What is happening? People are not coming forward against the SIR in a way they should come. Because Congress is conduct in what I have seen in Nagpur rural and Nagpur district area, that Congress is doing its part, but they are not getting the support which is much needed from the voter as from the electoral, that is voters in general. So that is also another concerning part. But let us see how Congress, because now as far as opposition is concerned, in Maharashtra. I have seen only Congress party which is going door to door or which is conducting the SR camps in their respective constituencies and areas. Except that there is no other party who is conducting the camps except two or three or one formal camp just to show that we are also involved in. So that is of much concern. And for that, we need to evolve some method by which we can cope up with this problem in one way or the other.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? Before we conclude the session, is there any announcement, sir?
No, Vishal, there are no announcements today. Thank you.
Okay. So we can conclude the session.
Yes, please.
It is time to conclude our online Buddha Vihara. I would like to thank Bhante for blessing us with the Dhamma talk. Thank you for the kids motivational story reader and Krantitai for conducting the kids session. And many thanks to our guest speaker, Advocate Akash Moon sir, for the session. And thank you for all the participants who joined today. With this, we conclude today's online Buddha Vihara. Thank you. Namo Buddhaya. Jai Bhim.